watching a live stream at Girls Academic Leadership Academy in Los Angeles. And they want to know, why were you counting how many times you unscrewed the bolt, and why are those details important? The crew members keep a careful count of how many turns they make of each bolt or screw on the space station, so that they know exactly how tight those are, and that they are tightened down to exactly what the engineers here on the ground recommend, and they keep track of those details, so that as we have future spacewalks, they know what to expect if they need to remove it in the future, or and also just to have the assurance that it did get exactly as tight as it was supposed to.
Jessica, for the Epic MDM, you're headed zenith on phase 1 of S0, and there is one caution: avoid inadvertent contact with deployed test cable and passive UMAs.
Okay, copy that, and I am on phase 1 now.
Copy.
And Stephanie, from V1, I have 2 scoops installed, handles pointing forward, and I have the ratchet wrench in my hand.
Copy. Brett to the H1 scoop, locking it out with slack.
And work.
Christina Cook reporting that she's got those handles installed on the new battery charge discharge unit. Next step will be to, if needed, move into a better position with the robotic arm for releasing the bolts that are holding the new battery charge discharge unit down.
Before each attempt to break torque with a ratchet wrench, confirm no motion of ELC1 or SSRMS, and react all loads through the scoop when breaking torque on H1 and H2.
Copy all.
H1 and H2 are the 2 bolts that Christina Cook will be removing. Again, those are what's holding the old unit, or the new unit, down. I have 2 similar bolts on the old unit that we'll be removing once we get out to the P6 site.
H2, or do you need a GCA?
I do. I have good access. I have the ratchet wrench installed on the H1 scoop, tape line flush.
Copy, tape line flush on H1, break torque less than 1 turn.
Copy and work. Torque broken on H1, quarter turn.
Copy, quarter turn H1. Confirm tape line flush on H2.
And work. Tape line flush on H2.
Copy on H2, break torque less than 1 turn.
Broken on H2, quarter turn.
Copy, quarter turn on H2. You can stow the ratchet wrench back in the crew lock bag. Once you have your PGT, I'll have settings for you.
And any other work out of the crew lock bag, is it a good time to just completely close it up and get it nice and stowed on my BRT?
I believe that's correct. Let me check.
Doing, Jessica? Doing well. I'm on phase 1. I'm just passing the starboard seat cut. Hey.
And Jessica, we copy as well. And Christina, that's affirmed. We are complete with the crew lock bag.
Hey, could you please say again? We broke up a little bit there.
Copy that. Sorry. Yes, we are complete with the crew lock bag. You can button that up. And we also copied Jessica's location.
Cook confirming there that now that she's used the ratchet wrench to loosen those two bolts, she can put it away and get her toolbox kind of into a good storage order before she uses the pistol grip tool, which is similar to an electronic screwdriver that we'd use here on the ground, but sturdy enough for space. She'll use that to actually remove those bolts on the new battery charge discharge unit.
Crew-left bag is stowed.
Copy. Crew-left bag stowed on your BRT.
Affirm. Stephanie, I am ready for next step.
Yes, I will have PGT settings when you're ready.
Okay, and I'm ready for those settings.
Alpha 7, counterclockwise 2.
Copy. And Stephanie, I have arrived at Phase 1 at the MDM site. I'm going to work on a temp stow. And I'm assuming I can just temp stow this on Phase 1 because we'll be picking it up later even if we don't bring it right now.
And Jessica, if there is a location starboard of the MDM, that's what we would suggest as the temp stow for the medium ORU bag. And things are working so well with efficiency and timing. Once you stow the medium ORU bag, we'll have you head back to P4 so that you can sync up with Christina.
Okay, so I won't do the MDM now?
And Jessica, that's correct. Based on the timing of the choreography, we will not have time for this task at this time.
Okay, copy that. Stephanie, I'm back with you. I have the PGT with settings Alpha 7, counter 2 set, and I am installed on the H1 scoop tape line flush.
Copy all. Good report. Release H1 about 7 turns.
Work.
Christina Cook getting started on actually removing those two bolts on the new battery charge discharge unit. And you also heard there Capcom Stephanie Wilson call up to Jessica Meir that because Cook is a little ahead of schedule on removing the new unit, they want Meir to go ahead and start heading out to the P4 work site where she will meet up with Cook, rather than doing that get-ahead task to disconnect an Ethernet cable.
All the way to 7 turns. Status indicators unlock for H1. Same settings for H2. Thank you. Same settings for H2, Alpha 7, counterclockwise 2.
Okay, those are set, and I'm installed on H2 tape line flush.
Copy tape line flush. Release H2, about 19 turns.
Work. And Stephanie, the MDM, or the medium ORU bag is stowed just starboard of the MDM at mile marker 7350. On the Phase 1 handrail.
Copy Phase 1 handrail, mile marker 7350.
That's correct. Okay, and I will start heading back to Christina.
Copy, thank you.
And I have released H2, 18 turns.
Copy, Christina. 18 turns on H2. Check status indicator unlock.
Status indicator is unlocked.
Copy, you can stow the PGT once your hands are free and then unlock the ret.
Christina Cook has both of those bolts released now, so she should be able to put away the pistol grip tool she used to unscrew them, and then be able to remove the...
Copy. Also check your gauntlets in place. This is just prior to you having the box in your hand.
Remove that new battery charge discharge unit from where it's been stored here on the external logistics carrier.
You can remove the unit from soft dock.
We are removed from soft dock.
Copy. Once you are happy, you can work with Luca and give him a go to maneuver to the P4 setup position.
See that, Stephanie. Jessica, before I work with Luca, did you need to give any words in? I don't think so. I'm just headed back to you, and it's C106 handrail that I'm looking for, Stephanie.
Jessica, the location on P4 is handrail 5106.
We're now 2 hours and 4 minutes into today's spacewalk, and everything's moving quickly, going well for the two spacewalkers. In fact, Christina Cook's a little ahead of schedule, so Jessica Meir is skipping a get-ahead task so that she can sync up with Cook, where they will meet up on the P4 truss segment for the movement from there with the new battery charge discharge unit to its ultimate home on P6.
And my gauntlets are in place.
And we know that many people are still watching, and we're getting still lots of questions and well wishes from people at home and in schools. And we've got a few more here to share. This one from Andrew Kilgore, saying that one of the favorite pastimes for him and his daughter is to watch the space station fly over, and that his daughter finds it inspiring not only to see it flying over, but that there are women up there on the space station performing a spacewalk today. We also have one from John Beatty showing a go girl, go girl, go girls go sign that his daughters have made. And finally, this one from Isabel showing her 4.5-year-old daughter in her own flight suit there. Thanks so much for all the well wishes that everybody is sending in. Keep sending them in, and also keep sending in your questions using the hashtag AskNASA. We'll keep answering those throughout today's spacewalk.
Next is going to be a JOCAS, setting it up.
Copy. So I guess we'll call that UCA complete for the manual maneuver.
And copy, and setting up for the jokers, it will be from this position.
Copy. Nice slow motion.
We are in position hold, Christina, so you shouldn't feel any motion.
Okay, copy that. I think it was just the momentum of the bow. If you have time to look, there's a beautiful sunrise developing. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I am at 5106 right now. Oh, so I'm in position, watching the sunset. Place to be.
We copy, Jessica.
Jessica Meir reporting that she is in place at the P4 truss where Christina will be moving with the new battery charge discharge unit. And as she mentioned, the space station will be coming into the daylight portion of this orbit in just a couple of minutes. She'll be able to watch the sunrise over the South Pacific Ocean.
Sunrise in 3 minutes.
Copy, Stephanie.
When things are quiet, we'll take a couple more Ask NASA questions. This one is coming from Mrs. Landry's 5th grade science class. And they're asking, since the space station is solar powered, what happens to the energy when you're on the dark side of the Earth? And the answer to that is one of the things that the battery charge discharge unit takes care of. It makes sure that while the solar arrays are getting full sunlight, it actually generates more power than the space station needs. So it stores that extra power and then makes sure that the power levels stay steady going from the solar arrays to the space station's system when it moves into the dark periods of the orbit around the Earth, so that just because they move into the dark, they don't have to turn off any of the science experiments. Getting this battery charge discharge unit back in order will help ensure that this power string on the space station can generate its full 12 to 15 kilowatts for the space station. Right now, it's with one of the three battery charge discharge unit sets down, they're getting about 4 or 5 kilowatts less than they like to see on that string. Again, in all, there's about 24 of these battery charge discharge units on the space station. This is the second one that they've replaced.
Christina, Jessica, just a heads up, we may experience Radicom for the next 5 minutes.
Copy that. Thanks for the heads up. got a good view of you, Christina. I'm basically just port, and of course still aft of you. Okay. I'm assuming that this maneuver is going to bring you, okay, yeah, I see it, it's still bringing you port. Okay, copy. And if you can see where my green hook is just inboard of where I will end up. Yep, I can see your green hook. Perfect. It's 2 handrails away from me. So you're in just the right spot. Good call.
And Christina, we're ready for motion. This is going to be a 2.5-minute jawcast.
Copy, I'm ready for the 2.5-minute jawcast.
Starting motion.
Copy.
While Christina Cook begins her ride on the robotic arm over to the P4 truss segment, we're going to take a second to acknowledge that not only are we celebrating this historic first with 2 women performing a spacewalk at the International Space Station today, but we're also celebrating the many firsts that have come before it, and we're going to show you next one from astronaut Shannon Lucid. Having just seen that video, it's also a good time to mark that today is also the 30th anniversary of the launch of Space Shuttle Atlantis on the STS-34 mission, and Shannon Lucid was on board that space shuttle as it went to send the Galileo probe to Jupiter. Also on board was astronaut Ellen Baker.
Kind of be ready for your translation so that when we pop it in, you can just head out and we'll know that, fins are out, you've got H1, all that. So I think I'm going to be in either this or this orientation. Okay. So the way I have my BRT right now. Yep.
Great view here for both Christina Cook on the end of the robotic arm with the red stripes on the legs of her spacesuit, and just visible below her, Jessica Meir waiting at the P4 truss segment.
It's probably good because your BRT stays inboard, and so I can separate it. And I don't see any reason that we can't just carry that all the way outboard along the handrails. Okay? When we get to the PVR, we may have to pivot a little bit, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, copy.
And Christina, you are in position hold. From this position, we can take a GCA for the handoff or whatever you tell me.
See that, and we had discussed Jessica would take this GCA, so Jessica, I'll let you take over. Okay, let's just think about how we're going to do this right now. Okay. So you have H2 in your hand, right? I have. That's correct. I'm ready to H2. Yes. And we haven't started. We'll say we haven't started GCA yet. So let's ask Stephanie. Stephanie, do we have it correct that I'll be handing H2 and that will be going into Jessica's BRT?
Checking. Christina and Jessica, either way will work.
Okay. I think that the one advantage of me handing you H1 is that you can do the rep swap. Not a huge deal either way. Right. And then we also need to think about fins being back. So when I hand it to you, I could pivot it like this, and then you could complete pivot to keep the fins away.
Christina, FYI. You structure it then where we are now.
Okay, copy that. Let's hold off just for a moment, but I think I like your idea of getting into that position before we make all our final plans. Yeah, I think we are going to need closer, and I'm also going to watch. I'm going to try to with a little spare lead to my safety tether here because I don't want that to end up in the fins. That's what I was thinking as well. So with your orientation, Jessica, I think this handoff position might be the best, where I actually have the fin facing forward. Okay. I've got a spare lead right now, so that my safety head is out of your way. So you have a spare lead right in front of me. I like how you have the fins right there. Yep. Okay. I wonder if we can actually get it directly on my BRT. That's what I'm hoping. Do you think a half meter, like Lucas said, will be too much in? Or should we go ahead and take that and then evaluate from that published? I think we should come in maybe 0.25 meters instead, and then we might need to come a little bit closer to me. Okay, copy. Yeah, Luca, let's take half of that distance that you said for published.
Copy. I'll put that in work and I'll let you know when I'm starting motion.
Okay, copy. And I can get your fairly hold off on for now. It's just in front of me, so it should be fine. Copy.
Starting motion towards the station.
Copy. Ready. Good motion.
Copy. Good motion. And that's your 25.
Okay, Luca, you can stop there. Okay, Christina, I probably can just come back to you.
Brakes are coming on.
Copy, brakes are coming on.
Brakes are on.
Copy, brakes on. Jessica, yep, I agree. At the same time, though, if you've got a better handrail config in one spot, we do have to do safe capability, so you can evaluate that. But it looks like 5105 is also going to work. So if I get a little bit closer, do you think you can get the BRT on there? I think I could. I might actually say that a little more inward would help me achieve that. Maybe your BRT forced me a little bit. I think by that I mean maybe even a little more GCA inboard. Okay, stand by. Copy. Take your time. I'm in a good spot. Now we could come. I know it's really hard to look out from structure. And I actually have clearances now with the orientation I'm holding it in, if you'd like to put GCA in, because I know it's very hard to look out. Okay, yeah, I do have a good view, so I'll back you up, but you can go for it. Perfect. Okay, Luca, if you're still there, we are going to do a little bit of just additional GCA.
Absolutely. I'm here for you guys.
All right. Turns out maybe another 20 would be best, so we'll take 20 more centimeters in the same direction we are going towards structure.
The brakes are coming off.
Copy.
Spacewalkers Christina Cook and Jessica Meir, they're negotiating how they'll do a swap here. Christina Cook has the new battery discharge unit in her hands, and is moving towards the P4 truss segment where Jessica Meir is waiting. They'll go together from P4 to P6.
The brakes are on.
That is where the failed battery charge discharge unit is waiting to be removed, and they can swap it for this new one.
Handoff. And Stephanie, we're back with you.
Copy, Christina and Jessica. Nice work. So as you discussed, you would be performing a ret swap and placing the unit on Jessica's BRT.
Copy. I'm BRT now, and then I'll have her rep. So when you're ready, Jessica, Want me to move it up? I think. Paddle's out. Paddle's not out. No, we're not on. I see that. I can get it closer to you. Would it be helpful to go ahead and do the ret swap now? Or you can do that. Bye. Okay, I've got my red on it, Stephanie, on the H2 scoop. Are we going to be able to get that BRT on there still? Yep.
Copy, Jessica. You have a ret on the H2 scoop, and you're working the BRT.
And I see my paddle out. The one on my side is out. I see mine out as well. We've got a good BRT. Okay, stand by. I'll remove my ret. Okay, and pull it, the box away from structure a little bit. Okay, the back. It's right up against structure right now. Oh, I see that on that corner? Yep. Okay. I have removed my ret, so now we are go to put it in a config on your BRT that you're comfortable with. Okay, yeah, we need to tighten everything up here. Okay, and I am still in control of it, so I can send it in a certain direction. Okay, if we can just maintain the position right now. Okay, tightening this joint. When we tighten. Okay. With this, I can get it back a little bit. Now, we don't really want it, I was thinking about like this so that it's a little bit behind me. Okay. And if you're ready, I'll go ahead and remove my hands from my scoop, and then you can put it in the direction that you'd like. Okay, I'm ready. Okay? Have control of the unit. And we'll get perfect. I like that spin direction. That's great. Okay. Show it in good config and in a perfect orientation for us to shepherd it outboard. So I think we are ready for kind of our next series of steps, Stephanie.
Copy, Christina.
We have Jessica holding. Oh.
Yes, so next week.
I've got all my joints. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Yes, next is SSRMS egress. So, Christina, if you need a GCA for that, you can work with Luca.
Okay, copy. And before we start that, if I'm just going to come straight in, which would be most efficient, Jessica, I would have you move outboard about 2 feet. Are you able to do that? Yeah, I can do that, but just give me a minute to get my tethers here. Copy. And I can also run cleanup for you when I pass by if there's anything that you can't reach.
Continuing that careful negotiation of handing off the new battery charge discharge unit between Christina Cook and Jessica Meir. Cook has carried it over from the external logistics carrier where it had been stored, and she is going to hand it off to Jessica Meir so that she can then get out of the foot restraint on the end of the robotic arm and into place to carry that new unit over to the P6 truss where the old one is waiting to be replaced.
Data published.
Thanks for coming out.
Copy.
Starting motion towards that structure.
Copy.
Copy the Good motion. And I'm going another 50 centimeters. You can stop me anytime.
Copy. And we'll take ramp out there. That's a good position.
Okay, ramping out. Okay, stop. Is GCA complete?
Copy, yep. GCA complete.
GCA complete. The brakes are coming on.
Copy.
And the brakes are on.
Copy.
You'll go for APFR egress.
Copy all. Jessica and Stephanie, the first thing I'm going to do is fairly Jessica's tether on 5104.
Christina, we copy?
And that I understand I am go for egress.
And Christina, this is Luca. And yes, you are go for APFR egress.
Work. Christina, I've got all the joints tight on my BRT, so it's definitely in a stable position, but with the mass of it, it is certainly still going to move around. So I think what we might need to do is have you close enough where you can reach that back scoop as necessary, or at least like a corner of the box. Copy that. We'll do kind of like a hybrid birding. Yeah. Because even with all of the joints tight, you know, when I move, it's still got a little bit of play in there. I see that. Like we were talking about with the BRT the other day. Yep. I have egress to APFR.
Copy, Christina. Next is the safety tether swap off of the arm.
Okay, and I'll need the GCA for the next position for that.
Copy, and I'm ready for, I do have a published position if you want me to fly to that.
I would. That sounds great.
We're coming off.
Copy, and we can report Ingress A to stowed. You're going to get config permission.
Copy, and I can see it. Thank you. And Christina, for your situation awareness, is going to be 1.5 meters towards the structure.
Copy that.
Start in motion.
In motion.
Copy, good motion. And Christina, can you confirm that you're clear of the arm?
I am clear of the arm.
Copy, thank you.
And Luke, I do see that the APFR is quite close still to the box. Do you guys have the view of that? No, I have clearance on that. It's okay. 2 feet. Okay. Thanks for your work.
And I'm ramping out.
Copy. That is a good position.
Copy, confirm that this is a final position for the GCA.
Confirmed.
And the brakes are coming on, GCA complete.
Copy. GCA complete. And brakes will be on.
The brakes are on. You'll go for APFR removal.
Copy. Right, Stephanie, the brakes are on, so I am ready for steps.
Copy. For the safety tether swap, ret to your green reel, then remove your green hook from P4 handrail. I believe you have it at 5103, and then stow the green hook on your red reel.
Copy. Green hook is on the red reel.
Copy. Check green hook closed and locked and release the red.
Green hook is closed and locked. Look it on the red.
Copy.
It is removed.
Copy. Retrieve yellow hook from SSRMS lee forward tether point. Stow it on your green reel.
Copy.
As you can see from this view, Christina Cook has gotten out of her foot restraint on the robotic arm and has been working on getting all of her safety tethers into a good configuration so that she can begin working here on the port side of the station's truss. She and Jessica Meir will be moving that new battery charge discharge unit into place on the P6 truss. They're currently on the P4 segment of the truss, which is a little closer to the center. So that P6 work site is a little further away than the space station's robotic arm can reach. So Meir and Cook will be carrying the new unit the rest of the way by hand rather than getting that ride on the robotic arm that they got for this far.
It's on the red reel, I believe, but it goes on the green reel. Is that correct? And I may have misheard you.
Yes, the yellow hook is stowed on the green reel.
Copy.
When
The hook is on the green reel, gate closed, slider locked, and the green reel is in unlock. Red reel is also in unlock.
Copy, Christina. That's a good config. Jessica, nice job being quiescent. And I'll take a glove, hap, and gauntlet check from you both.
Am I as good as Drew at being quiescent?
You are better and understand you're channeling your inner Drew.
My gloves have no change, and my hap is dry for EV2.
Copy, EV2.
Jessica Meir has been standing by holding that new battery charge discharge unit that Christina Cook handed off to her. This is a view from her helmet camera.
Copy, gloves and hap for EV1. Check gauntlets in place for you both.
Let's in place. In for EV2.
Copy. PET is about 2 hours, 35 minutes. Limiting consumable 7 hours, 40 minutes for EV1 and EV2 battery. And we are 20 seconds from a 20-second handover.
Copy that. And Stephanie, I wanted to be sure we're on the same page. The APFR is still an SSRMS with.
We concur. That's next.
As Cook was verifying there, her next step is going to be to take the foot restraint she used for the ride on the robotic arm, remove it so that it can be used elsewhere as they make their way with the new battery charge discharge unit towards P6.
I think we're in our handover already.
Christina, Jessica, back with you after the handover. And Christina, you're correct. Next is APFR removal. If you need, you can work with Luca for a GCA.
Okay, I don't think we'll need any GCA. And Jessica, just to mention it to you, I see that you have the ORU oriented now station meter so away from the truss. That's good because I think when the APFR comes out, it could, move in your direction a little bit. So be aware of that. Copy that. I'll remain as I am. And Stephanie confirmed that the destination for this APFR is with 10.
That's affirmed with 10, any clocking.
Copy. Alvin with 10. Good pull and twist test. Black on black. Clock.
Copy black on black and good pull twist test. Christina, when you are happy, when both you and Jessica are clear and tethers and tools are clear, you can give Luca a go to maneuver to EVA Park.
Happy? Let me give it a once over. All right, Jessica, I'm showing tethers and tools are clear of the lee. And Luca, with that, I am also clear, and you have a go to maneuver.
Christina, I copy, and the brakes are coming off.
Copy. Christina, if you can see the my tether is about to slide under that APFR pedal. We'll keep an eye on that. I wanted to keep it outside of the APFR. There we go. We'll put it under the clocking ring. Copy. And I'm showing the lee fairly close. Luca, have you started motion?
Negative, Christina. We're going to wait until you are out of the way, and then we'll start motion.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought we were waiting. I thought it was the other way around. So I will go ahead and start translation outboard. Hi, Jessica. I am to the ORU. So I would be ready for you to start, or for both of us to just kind of start slowly making our way. Okay. It looks like it's in a great config. Okay, copy that. I'm going to just move slowly, and, and if you are close enough to get to that back end, I've got a little plane change coming around the corner here. Okay, copy. And if at any time we want to stop, put down the local or any orientation or anything, that's fair game. Okay, copy that. I think you've probably got a better view of the box I do than I do, so I'll have you call it. Okay.
Cook and Mir now both on their way from that P4 site where Cook got off the robotic arm to the P6 site where the old battery charge discharge unit is waiting to be replaced. While they make their way, we have a few more Ask NASA questions.
Again, just around
this one from a 7th grade class in London asking how long the astronauts have been on the spacewalk at this point, and they had just
5309.
Made it to 2 hours and 43 minutes so far. The entire spacewalk's planned to last about 5.5 hours, though that is a little bit fluid based on how much they get done.
Christina, Jessica, this is Drew and Luca. It was a pleasure working with you guys. We are ready to start the motion, and after that we will go quiescent.
Copy that, Luca. It was awesome working with you on the arm. Thanks, Luca. Thanks, Drew.
See you guys in a couple hours.
Sounds good.
Luca Parmitano wrapping up his activity for the day. He's been driving the robotic arm with Christina Cook on the end of it, but now that they are safely on the port section of the space station's truss, they are going to be making their way by hand to their main work site for the day, and his job is done.
Copy. Mine's been work.
Copy, Jessica.
For our next Ask NASA question, we have a note from sixth graders in Knoxville wanting to know how long Christina and Jessica have been at the International Space Station.
On handrail 5306.
Christina Cook is actually on her 217th day today, and it is the 23rd day in space for Jessica Meir.
You are correct. Thank you.
Meir just launched in September.
Stand by one. I'm just going to reorient this PCQ around the right target. Okay.
And she'll be staying until the spring. Cook has had her mission extended. She will be staying almost a year, not quite, but she actually arrived at the space station in March and will be staying until February. Once she's done, she will break the record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman, currently held by Peggy Whitson. Whitson has 288 days on her longest spaceflight, and Cook will reach that point on December 28th.
Christina, and is the box going to be clear of this stowed radiator? Affirmative. Okay, I've reached the IEA. Okay, copy that. Are you going to continue translating with your feet towards the radiator side like you are? It looks, yeah, it looks like you can without any issues. Okay, copy. Do you have can you get a good view of the box right now? Stand by. Good view. So it is down towards your left leg. It is away from structure and away from you, so it's in a good config. And you can just talk about how you're going to move around that corner. Okay, I'm going to pull it up a little bit closer. I've got it now closer and wait, stand by, stand by. Okay. Okay. The box is coming up towards your head. Yep. Okay, bring it towards me. Sounds good. Can you get I'll move more inboard. Okay, I think it's in a better position now. Okay. Yep, I agree. You actually get a hand on that distal edge and pull it out of some structure a little bit. Yep. Like that. Okay, that's good. Okay. So I'm right above the APFR now. I'm going to continue outboard. Perfect.
Great view here of the two spacewalkers at the base of one of the space station's solar arrays with the new battery charge discharge unit between them.
Really well in the direction of your right hand, or your right arm if you were to extend it, so it's in a good spot. Left arm, this arm? Yep, sorry, your left arm. Okay. And as you move down, let me just double check it's close enough. All right, so right now, front of it is just sort of under the boot plate of the APFR, so it kind of got into a good position there. Okay. I'm going to wait till you're in your final location, and I'll watch it as you maneuver. Yeah, so there's a handrail that's up here on this non-radiator face, but I think I don't see another handrail on this outboard edge. Okay, I see what you're saying. So there's this handrail where I can position, I think, am I okay with the box if I swing up my arm up here now? Okay. So I can position myself. I'm going to have to go out to that other handrail, I think, because otherwise I'm just in the way of the box itself. I mean the one that's on the, out port-facing side. And the box is still good, but it's actually not far from DGA back there. Yep, exactly. Okay, so I'm just be aware. So I can stay where I am right now. I agree. I don't think that's a bad spot. Okay. If you want to the BRT down, or at least the local, or you're obviously not a BRT right now. Don't get my BRT down, but I can get a local down. Okay. While you're working on that, I'm going to work on getting the crew lock bag stowed at 5306. All right. Going to look at the box there. I think what you may want to do is, now that we're not translating anymore, Goose, is fold it back more. Able to. So that it's more around your backside rather than out. Out was good for the translation. Okay, how's that? Bye. And that's better, and I'll be able to put it in a good spot for when I ingress. Okay. I will hold them right where I am, okay? And the crew lock bag is going to be actually right on this handrail that your helmet's at, okay, where I am, so. Copy. Now, one thing to think about is my translation to the APSR, but I think with the scoop, the bumper, and the ingress aid, I'll be able to do that. Yep, and I can move further port, okay, whatever you need me to. Okay, got it. Out of your way now, because you can probably reach scoops and the APFR. Yep. Okay. Let me know if you need me to move in any direction. Okay, I will. I'll take a look in a sec after I get this crew lock back down. see the bag. Okay. Stephanie, the crew lock bag is stowed on 5306. Jessica is in position on the port end of the IEA on the non-radiator side, and we're ready for next steps.
Copy. If you're happy with the access to the crew lock bag, then you can ingress the APFR and report the serial number of the failed unit.
Copy. Jessica, the nice thing about your location is you'll actually be able to get this to me if needed. Right now there is good access, but obviously it can move around quite a bit. Copy. I'm making my way to the APFR. Copy, and the box is just to your right. Okay, I see that. Before I ingress, I'll obviously adjust that, but for now, I'm going to try to get it back behind me a little bit more. Okay, it's out away from you now. Okay. Okay, I actually think it's in a good spot for my ingress, but I want to make sure that you will still have clearance to get it in port of me when we do the handoff. So maybe this is the time to put it down towards your leg, outboard. And then we'll kind of windshield wiper it back. And I can get hands on it and try and get it going in the right direction. Helpful? Yep. Right. Okay. And I do see good clearance to the BGA. But, keep it tucked in as much as you can. Yep. Okay, copy. And I'm going to ingress. Is that helmet contact really good? Oh, no, we're still good. Yeah, I think you'll be pointing away from me enough. I'll get a good view of your feet. Great. Right foot's not completely locked in. You need to rotate a little bit. There you go, right center. Bring the toe in a little bit more. Okay. You're going to have to come out because you're down in between it now. Your left foot. Sorry, I see that.
View here from Jessica Mears' helmet camera. Up close look at the work site that she and Christina Cook are at on the P6 section of the truss.
Can't quite see your left foot. I can only see the back heel, and it looks like it's too far to the left. There you go. There you go. Got it. Stephanie has ingress, and I can see that the serial number is 011.
Copy 11 for the serial number. That's expected. And if you would, please press your WVS button.
Copy, Mark. Okay, I see green light. And as you can see, I'm right below your right hand. Yep, I see you. See your helmet. And I'm going to go for the crew lock badge.
And we have good video. Thank you, Christina. Yes, and per procedure, we have you taking your BRT RET to the H1 scoop for Christina.
So we're going to give you this one first, right, before the crew lock badge, Christina? I'm going to put this one on your BRT first. I thought we were going to proceed with the method of me just taking the failed straight to my BRT. Okay, but let's check in with Stephanie on that to be sure.
Checking.
Yeah, actually that makes sense to me. Okay, so Stephanie, you had said BRT rat to H1 for me.
Checking. And Christina, we copied your last. We are checking about the plan, whether or not we need to swap the box and the BRTs.
Christina Cook's been working to get into place in a foot restraint at this P6 work site where they'll be swapping out the battery charge discharge unit. She's now in place and just working through some tethering questions before they get started on removing the old battery charge discharge unit.
Christina, Jessica, so we are pre-positioning Christina's BRT RET on the box, but there is not a box swap for Christina to your BRT.
Okay, we copy and concur.
And BRT RET scoop location is your call, Christina.
Okay, copy. I have my BRT rat to H2, and this is locked out with Slack.
Copy BRT RET to H2, locked out with Slack, and as you mentioned, you can retrieve the ratchet wrench.
With everything carefully tethered to make sure it will have a no chance of floating away accidentally once it's removed. The spacewalkers are now going to be removing that old battery charge discharge unit from the P6 solar array and replacing it with the new one. To remove the old one, they've got two bolts that they'll first loosen with a ratchet wrench and then
I have the ratchet wrench.
Release with the pistol grip tool.
For H1, confirm tape line flush to the H1 scoop.
Copy, and I have it in loosen, and I'll see if Jessica is able to get to this. I think I can. Let me just move the box a bit. And actually, I have tape line flush, and I'm actually in a good position with the handle to try and break torque if you... Okay. Yep, go for it. All right. Okay, do I have that go?
Have a go to break torque on H1, less than one turn.
And here's what I could take from you is downward pressure on the hand wheel if you've got the hand. If you don't, I think I'm good, but it's just an extra precaution, but again, if not, no worries, because I know it's a lot deeper than the PVC would be. Hey, I've got a hand. Okay, and stand by. Okay. First broken, quarter turn.
Copy. Copy quarter turn H1. Confirm tape line flush to H2. 30 seconds to a 20-second handover.
Copy, that's affirmative, and I have tape line flush on H2 with a wrench.
Copy brake torque H2, less than 1 turn.
Broken on H2, quarter turn.
Copy quarter turn H2. Stow the ratchet wrench in the crew lock bag.
Both of those bolts now loosened as needed, and they'll put away the ratchet wrench in the tool bag that you can see here from Christina Cook's helmet camera view. Now moving into the handover that Stephanie Wilson mentioned. With that done, they will be able to then release the 2 bolts. They're calling them H1 and H2, and that should allow them to pick up that old battery charge discharge unit and put the new one in its place.
Jessica, Christina, we're back with you. I have PGT settings when you're ready.
Okay, copy that. And Jessica, we're so close that actually moving my swing arm out. I'm going from arm left to PVC out. Okay. That's good. That little movement you did help. Okay, I can also, my feet in the other direction, like opposite of yours, if that helps, like rotate a bit more. Would. How's that? Okay, I have the PGT, and Stephanie ready for PGT settings.
PGT settings alpha 7, counter clockwise 2.
See, I have alpha 7, counter clockwise 2.
Good settings.
Hopefully the PGT did power off, so I'm going to do the cow.
Copy.
Okay, now I have alpha 7 counter 2 set. Again.
Copy. Good settings. Confirm tape line flush to the H1 scoop.
In work. Line flush.
Copy release H1, about 7 turns.
See in work.
Christina Cook getting started releasing that first of 2 bolts. While she works on that, we'll take a question from Ask NASCA submitted on social media. This one coming from students at St. Helens School in Newberry, Ohio.
5 turns, but it started skipping at about 4.
They're asking whether...
Started skipping at 4, 5 turns total. Check status indicator unlock for H1.
They're asking whether the astronauts have time to enjoy the view of Earth. The astronauts have to concentrate pretty heavily on their task, but occasionally there is a chance to look down and see the Earth below. If they were doing so now, which they probably are not given what they're working on, they would be looking down at Ethiopia and Kenya. And they also, the students also asked if they would be seeing the U.S. They've actually will be
Release H2 about
flying over the western and central part of the U.S. on this next rotation around the Earth.
Okay, and I had a torque out after about 2 turns.
Copy torque out after 2 turns. We're discussing it.
I did see the bolts Okay, and I did see jacking begin and the unlock indicator begin to move towards unlock.
Copy. And Christina, this is the case where we'd have you check a better body positioning, that you're lined up over the bolt and the PGT and the socket are centered relative to the scoop.
Okay, copy that. And work. I can confirm good body position, centered, the socket is centered in the scoop.
Is the tape line still flush?
Yes, the tape line is flush.
Copy. We're ready for you to continue release.
Copy and work. Releasing.
Copy.
I've got 20 turns so far. The indicator is not quite to unlock. I'm pausing to see if you all would like me to continue.
Copy. You have 20 turns so far, and the status indicator is not yet in the unlock position. Checking.
I can see good movement on the box from each one side. Yep, and I can also report it did seem to be jacking well, and I just let up a little bit. I may have actually been applying too much pressure downward on the PGT.
Christina, we copy your report. We'd like you to continue releasing a few more turns.
Copy, in work. Jacking. Yes, I do. Okay. Stephanie, I put 9 more turns on it. It didn't have a lot of resistance on the turns, and I see the status indicator is still in the same position, not quite all the way to unlock. The line is currently almost aligned with the outside of the white box on the indicator. It's about a centimeter away from the tick mark for the unlock position.
Copy checking.
That might be okay in tolerance.
And Christina, we copy your report. We would like you to stow the PGT and try to remove the battery from soft dock.
Copy and work. All right, Goose, this is where I'm going to shoot inboard so that I can get to my swing arm out. Okay, I'm going to come. You want me to go outboard? If you're able. Oh, and now we're good. So okay. The current position is good.
Christina Cook having a little bit of trouble with one of the 2 bolts that's holding the old battery charge discharge unit in place. Not seeing the status indicator that would tell us that it is unlocked after she has released the bolt.
All right, excellent. Nice work.
But that call from Cook letting us know that the status indicator was wrong, and they have been able to pull it out.
Copy, good work.
Issues like that shouldn't be terribly surprising since the battery charge discharge unit has been in space for 19 years. It was delivered in December 2000 on STS-97.
Okay with you, so I'm just going to bring it straight out. Okay, wait, stand by one. Okay, so your ingress aid, I think if you lean all the way back, you're going to tuck your ingress aid in. Let's see that? Even if I lean back, my ingress aid is still there. I think I can flip it out if I pitch it up. Okay, but let me get the ingress aid as far in as possible to allow that. And then I'll have you keep an eye on the fins and the swift. Okay.
Now that they are removing that old unit, Cook will be storing that on a tether that she's attached to, with Jessica Meir assisting her.
Clear, keep coming. Okay. Clear structure. Copy. Meanwhile, Stephanie, I've got a very good view of the receptacle of the BCDU that Christina just removed. I see that those fins on the receptacle side are all good. I can also see the vectors. There is no FOD. Can't quite see any EMI bands from this angle. But I think that's just a good thing. I think that means all these EMI bands, oh, actually I can see them now. Do see good EMI bands.
And Jessica, this is on the IAA side, is that correct?
Firm, that's on the IEA side.
And we copy. Thanks for the report.
Now, do you want to try to get a report of the fins on the removed BCDs before she puts it behind her, or maybe we can do that after? I don't think that's a check, but let's see if they want it. We can always get it after we install this one.
Jessica, Christina, we only need the report on the new unit, the backside of the new unit only.
Okay, copy. Copy that. Looking at the fins in the IEA, I don't see any FOD or bent fins. Yeah, I just reported all that side. I think we're good there. Okay. We are ready for next step.
Yeah, so with the old unit, Christina stowed on your BRT and you're happy with that positioning, then receive the new unit from Jessica. And Christina, you will present it to Jessica for the inspection of the backside of the new box.
Okay, I copy that. You can see it right now, Christina, before I take it off my BRT. Yeah, let's stand by one and get my TPV adjusted, and then I will take a look at that. Okay. So right now I've got your right side towards me. Yeah, I think I'll have to get it off my BRT first. Okay. All right, I am in a good config to receive it, so we can talk about in right, and the orientation is To inboard. Okay, so I think that's how I have it right now, right? Yep, that's how you have it. That's perfect. So if you're able to keep the fins, what I want to make sure of is that the fins either face outboard or up while you hand it off to me. And then, so I wonder if my hand is just to your right. Are you able to put the fins outboard and then and me each two in the hand that is right here? I think so. Okay, perfect. And click. There we go. All right. So we'll do the BRT or a rep swap. You have your hands, since I have control of the battery, if you would like, feel free to do the rep swap. I wonder if you can even one from me and put it on the unit. Okay, I might be able to get it. Or we can just leave it ready to you, actually. I don't see why not. You're not going anywhere. Yeah. Let's do that. I agree. Okay. Let's get that out of your BRT. Put my BRT down. Nice. And I'm going to need to get out of your way. Do you have a good hand on it? I do. I have it. I have control, and I'm going to present the bottom side of it to you. So I've got. Did you want to put your BRT down still? I'm going to put it down, but I released it so I could get away. I was too close. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll try and face the connectors towards you and move them out a little bit so you can see them better. Yeah. Okay. Yep, I've got a good view. Fins are all good. I can see no thought in the connectors. And I don't see pins on that side, but more sockets in no side. Okay, copy. And how are the EMI bands? The EMI bands, I think, are only on the receptacle side, right? Oh, okay. Copy that. Yep. And I saw them on the receptacle side. Okay, got it. Yep, that's what we talked about.
Jessica, Christina, we like
Stephanie, do those checks sound good to you?
Yes, we like those checks. Christina, you can soft dock the unit and lock out the RET leaving slack. And we are 1 minute from sunset.
All right. You able to see some alignment marks? I can. I think you're good right now if you go straight down. Going straight. Going straight. That looks like a perfect alignment to me. Okay, I am soft docked.
Spacewalkers have begun installing that new battery charge discharge unit, getting into soft dock. To get it really installed, they will have basically the same two bolts that they unlatched on the old one. They'll be tightening those down on this new one to keep it in place.
And you're would you like your maneuver station defector back since you've got your BRT? Yep, thank you.
Copy, the unit is soft dock. And
Stephanie, it is soft dock, and I'm locking the red out with flash.
Copy. I'll have PGT settings next.
Nice work, Christina. Smooth. Nice job. And I don't know if you're able to see, but how about unit on my BRT? It doesn't seem like there's any issues with it, but figured I'd check in. Yeah, it is. It's position. Okay. Front of it is kind of up against your cliff, but it's right up next to it, so it's just in the solid config. Okay. Stephanie, ready for PTC settings.
Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Okay, and I have that set.
Confirm tape line flush to the H2 scoop.
Airplane flush.
Drive H2 16 to 17 turns.
And Goose, do you have eyes on? Oh, so be careful because your red is locked out. I see it, I see it. Yeah. I was moving it out of the way for you, but yeah. Okay. No, I'm good in a good position. Okay, so what I'll ask you for is from your angle, just to get two different angles on that, make sure the socket's perpendicular.
Another one of those periods where we moved out of range of the satellites that allow us to get video from the International Space Station. Should be getting it back in just a moment. Crew members right in the middle of the installation of that new battery charge discharge unit, the spare that was waiting on board for when it was needed. They are now 3 hours and 26 minutes into today's spacewalk, which is planned to last about 5.5 hours.
Back with you after handover.
Copy. And I just drove it. I'm going to give you 16 turns. Stand by for LEDs. We had a good green LED, but then as I was retrieving the PGT, I touched the trigger. It went to red, but it had been green. Jeff, you didn't happen to see the torque on there, did you? I did not. Okay. To get a torque count, I'd have to hit the bolt one more time. Would you guys like me to do that? I had a green LED, and then I just tapped the trigger when I was retrieving the PGT to read the screen.
And we copy. Christina, thanks for the offer. We would like that.
Okay, I'm going to hit the bolt one more time, and I can confirm the status indicator is in lock.
Copy.
Okay, table in flush. And I have 9.5 foot-pounds of torque, green LED. An additional turn.
Copy on H2, 9.5 torque, 16 turns, green light, status indicator lock. Same settings for H1,
Confirm.
Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
That's one of the bolts done on the new battery charge discharge unit, one to go, and then we can consider that installed. It will be a little while before we get a real indication that everything is good between it and the batteries, probably not until after the spacewalk is done for the day. That'll take a little while for the team here on the ground to verify.
And I have tape line flush, Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Copy. Drive H1, 4 to 5.5 turns.
Copy and mark. H1 is driven, 5 turns, 9.0 foot-pounds of torque, green LED, status indicator is in lock.
Copy on H1, 9 torque, 5 turns, green light, status indicator lock. You can unlock and remove Jessica's red.
Copy. You're the, got your red.
And with that second bolt now done, the new battery charge discharge unit is installed in the old one's place. It should be ready to start checking out, but as I mentioned, we don't expect to get solid confirmation during the spacewalk that it has fixed the problem we saw after last week's spacewalk to install the new batteries.
An inventory of the crew lock bag.
There's no reason to think that it won't work, but we won't get that confirmation during today's spacewalk.
What you can. It's easy in the APFR, so if you want me to do it, I'm glad to do that. Sure. Have you position outboard, and I'll get to it. Okay.
Now that they have gotten that task checked off, they are going to do a quick inventory of their tool bags before they begin on get started on the next task. Christina Cook is going to be carrying that old battery charge discharge unit back to the airlock with Jessica Mears' help.
Okay, crew lock bag inventory if you're ready, Stephanie.
We're ready.
Okay, on the external, I have one large, small, adjustable. Inside, I have one adjustable, that's on the integral ret. You have scoops. Another adjustable on the integral. I have a ratchet wrench to a 2-ret series. I have a socket caddy with a 9-inch hex on an internal integral. And I have a long duration tie-down tether. I believe that's it.
Copy checking.
Copy.
Jessica, inside the bag, verify the 6-inch wobble on the ratchet wrench.
And wobble is installed on the ratchet wrench.
Copy that, and we were also expecting one adjustable to 1 ret inside the bag.
We're 2 instances of an adjustable to an integrated ret. Let me see if I've got one more on a regular ret. Stand by.
And Christina, after double checking, we're happy with the tool of the crew lock bag inventory.
Okay, copy that.
Once the bag is buttoned up, Jessica will retrieve that crew lock bag. Christina, you can egress the APFR, and then I'll take a glove hap and gauntlet check from you both.
Hey, Jessica, let you have it from here. I can help you by at least getting this hook off. Put that on so I could reach it. All right, the crew lock bag is now just on the handrail with that one large small. Okay, copy. And Stephanie, if it's all right with you, would you guys take the glove check now, just so that I'm not, it's just a good position being in the APFR?
Sure, we'll take it now.
Okay, copy. And for EV1 gloves, only minor changes. I just see maybe a little bit more RTV coming off in the areas that it already had. on the index finger of the right hand. All else unchanged.
Copy.
Dry hat. Let's go down.
Copy dry hat, gauntlets down for EV1.
And for EV2, I've got no change to the gloves, dry hat, and gauntlets are down.
Copy checks EV2. Thank you.
I'm going to hold on my egress for EV2's positioning.
Understand.
This will be a delicate egress with the BCDU.
With a good report on those periodic checks of the glove and the gloves that the spacewalkers are wearing, as well as the helmet absorption pad that just allows them to make sure there's no water collecting in their helmets. They are moving now on to the next steps, which for Christina Cook will be to get out of the foot restraint that she was working in to be able to get access to the battery charge discharge unit, and for Jessica Meir, that will be retrieving one of the tool bags that they've been using.
Okay, so to talk about the egress, Jessica, and also the translation back, I believe the next step we're doing is just heading back. We're kind of the opposite way of shepherding this BCDU. But since you'll be outboard as me for the translation home, I am planning to translate in the orientation that you're in right now so that it'll be facing you. Okay. And so I'll be doing kind of a pirouette to get into that position. I would take a little more outboard from you, and then if you could maybe hold your safety tether closer to structure just so that I don't snag it on my way around. Okay, yep. Stand by. How's that? I think that's good. Are you able to, by any chance, like hold it almost like that so that it's kind of below this lip? Okay, yep. And maybe, I don't know if there's a handrail down there to put 4 minutes on. How about that? Okay, that's perfect. We won't get into any trouble when we're halfway through this. All right, I'm going to eat this. Stephanie, any requirements for the ingress aid at this time in terms of stowing it, because it's currently not stowed?
Christina, thanks for asking. There are no requirements at this time. We'll come back and get it.
Copy. Ready for me to release my tether back? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I've made the translation. Just be aware that the BCDU is, we're close, so it's close to you as well. Okay, I see it. All right. Stephanie, we're in formation. We're ready to form fly back.
And we copy. We like it. Friendly reminder to pick up your green hooks. Christina, yours is at 5309. Jessica's at 5312. And also, Jessica, as you translate to pass the CETA card, friendly reminder to press the inboard, the brake pedals 2 times.
Okay, copy that, and that's a starboard on both CETA cards, right?
That's affirm.
All right, Jessica, you ready? I'm ready. All right, heading inboard. I see the BCDU in a good position. Copy.
Spacewalkers Christina Cook and Jessica Meir have gotten that old battery charge discharge unit removed and put a new one in its place, and now they're taking that old one back to the airlock. It's going to be returned to Earth uh, on a SpaceX Dragon vehicle. That way, engineers here on the ground can take a close look at it and try and decide what caused its problems so that we can avoid them in the future. So they are both now making their way back to the Quest airlock with that old battery charge discharge unit, and then once they're done with that, they'll begin working on a few other tasks. Christina Cook's going to be tying down some
PET currently 3 hours 40 minutes, and limiting consumable remains EV1, EV2 battery 7 hours 40 minutes.
Okay, getting closer to the green hook, and we are going to be translating around this. We've been calling the target. So, eye on it.
Cook and Meir finished installing that new battery charge discharge unit at about 10:06 a.m. Central Time, and already the teams here on the ground are saying that they are seeing indications that it is healthy. It'll be several hours of checkouts before that they can really confirm that it's working exactly as it's supposed to, but so far all indications are that the swap was good.
Okay, and I see my green hook. Am I in your way from retrieving it? I realize there may be. No, you're not. Okay. And I've got my green hook back on.
Copy.
Space station is currently in the dark portion of this orbit around the Earth, and while Meir and Cook make their way back to the airlock, and there's not a great deal to see, we're going to show some more of these well wishes that have been coming in. This one from Meredith saying that for one on the women who launch on the ground at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, passionate about weather and space, heroes like Meir and Cook above know that you are making all of us women in STEM proud. Enjoy the moment and don't forget to have fun doing it. And this one came in from a fellow astronaut who's already been on the International Space Station, European Space Agency astronaut Tim Peake, wishing Christina and Jessica luck on their spacewalk today as well. And another one, this one from Alexis, wishing them Godspeed, saying so proud of them and that they are an inspiration to his daughter who loves space and is happy to watch. Keep sending those in, and we will keep showing them as we're able to throughout today's broadcast.
And Christina and Jessica, we are 2 minutes to sunrise.
Copy. Mark.
We're also continuing to get a lot of questions using the hashtag AskNASA. We have one now coming from Mrs. Kane, who is a group of fifth graders wanting to know why the crew members need to work on something outside the space station. They definitely do spend the bulk of their time inside working on maintenance inside, as well as, in particular, lots and lots of science experiments. But occasionally things on the outside might break or new things might need to be installed. So that is when we send the crew members outside to do a spacewalk. Anytime we can, we like to do these robotically because spacewalks are one of the most dangerous things that astronauts do. But sometimes that's just not possible, as was the case here. So we sent them out today to repair and replace a battery charged discharge unit that failed following some new battery installations that were conducted last week. That is done now. Again, we got that installation of the new one complete at 10:06, and we are already seeing some good initial checkouts of it here on the ground.
There for a minute, my tether stopped reeling in. Okay, I'm holding. Do that. Maybe give it a tug. Yep, I'm gonna call.
We also have a question from Haley coming in asking when the astronauts are on the side of the Earth opposite of the sun, how are they able to see what they're doing? And that is the case right now, although they are just about to come back into sunlight. But as you can see here, when they do not have the sunlight to work by, they do have lights on their helmets that they're able to turn on as they need to give them light to work by. And we also have one from Mrs. Storm's class asking, are the spacesuits hot or cold, on behalf of her first graders? And the answer is they can be both. The space station and the spacewalkers outside go through periods when it is about 250 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 250 degrees, depending on whether or not they're in the sunlight or not. They get some help dealing with that. Obviously, that would be hard environment to work in. From their spacesuit, they get some protection first of all, and then also they are wearing an undergarment, basically long johns that have plastic threading through them that allows the spacewalkers to turn water on and off to run through it to help them keep at a comfortable temperature.
Jessica, Christina, friendly reminder as you're approaching the MT, translate using handrails.
Seeing a live view from Jessica Mears' helmet camera as she and Christina Cook make their way back towards the airlock with the old failed battery charge discharge unit.
In the standard orientation, since we're coming up on the cedar part. Okay. You're gonna go feet first. If you go, I think you're gonna need to go feet first. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, go feet first, and it'll say out on your left. Okay. Perfect.
You can see Mears' view here of Christina Cook. Cook has the old battery charge discharge unit that she is carrying with assistance from Mir as needed. Again, they're going to store it in the airlock so that it can be returned to the ground for a look by engineers.
right now the box is up against the feeder cart brakes. Yeah, thinking maybe standard orientation, like head up. I usually, when I go in VMT, I actually always go feet first, coming this direction. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you mean with the box. You can get under. Okay. Box looks good? All right. Thank you. MFMT.
Copy.
Jessica, everything looks okay with the box? Guys, it's in a perfect position right now. Great. Last year left in free space. My tether's caught up. My tether, like it's not reeling in again. We are close to the anchor hook. Give it a little tug. Right, it's reeling in again. How about yours, Jessica? Yeah, mine just got caught on something here now, but I just got it free, so I'm gonna keep coming under the feeder cart. Okay, copy.
Copy.
Okay, Stephanie, I'm on the starboard side of this feeder cart, so I'm gonna give the brake pedals a good push.
Copy.
Okay, 2 big pushes all the way to the base plate on the port feeder cart.
Copy.
And I see our anchor point.
Copy.
And I am starboard of the starboard feeder cart.
Copy, Christina.
do, so I'm showing the ORU, and I'm now head first. When the ORU fins away from me and meter, and kind of out in free space, not interfering with anything. Okay, copy. That looks good to you? Stand by. Yes, it does. It looks good. Okay, copy. Thank you. And Stephanie, I got 2 good pushes on the starboard seat of cart as well. Break.
Copy. Thanks, Jessica.
Stephanie, since we're passing by the ORU bag, should I grab that to bring it back to the airlock now? I have the crew lock bag.
Checking.
Yeah, I have the crew lock bag already on my BRT. I guess we could do some kind of bundling, but we're going back out again. Can we get it later? Up to you guys.
Jessica, thanks for the offer. We'll pick it up when we come back out.
I'm over the loud port strut. I see that. And I'm going to pause Jessica to move it back away from structure. Okay. Car still looks good. Copy. Okay, continue. And then a reminder, I think you're going to keep going starboard, so I'll go down the seat of spur first. Okay, I agree. And Stephanie can check us on that, but I agree.
And we concur.
Copy. Okay, on to the seat of spur handrail where we head down, so I'm going to continue starboard. Copy? And I'm clear. Okay, and I'm at the seat of spur now. I've got your tether in front of me. Okay, here, let me continue starboard so that even my tether is out of your way. Yeah, I think as soon as I go down, it's just going to be above me.
Great view here of the spacewalkers Christina Cook and Jessica Meir making their way starboard from the very end of the port side of the space station's truss, moving towards the airlock.
And maybe when I get to the toolbox, I'll turn around and I'll be able to have a good view of you. Okay, perfect.
As you can see, it's not exactly a short path to get from that far end to the airlock, but they are just making their way now to the Quest airlock where they'll be able to store that old battery charge discharge unit.
Hey, Christina, I'm at the toolbox. I'm going to get a tether local down, and then I'll get turned around so I can see you. Copy.
You can see Jessica Mears made her way over to the Quest airlock. Christina Cook still hanging out behind her with the old battery charge discharge unit.
Fair lead on handrail 500. Seeing your safety tether right. Okay. Call. You guys all right with that on the ground?
Checking.
You meant for me on 500, yeah? Okay.
Christina, Jessica, we like your plan.
Copy. Okay. That's in place. I didn't say, did it? Great. Yeah, it popped off when I came back over here. Okay, no worries. I'm the same. Got a lot of pull. Okay.
Just past the 4-hour mark on today's spacewalk, which is planned to last about 5.5 hours. Crew members have that old battery charge discharge unit removed, new one installed, and now they're getting this old one into the airlock so that it can be returned to the ground. With that, they'll have completed the main task of the spacewalk, getting that change out. But they do have a few get-aheads that they're going to be working on as time permits, including tying down some insulation that would allow the robotic arm to pick up a new battery charge discharge unit if they need another one, and also working to
I think I'll have a good view of you kind of threading the needle here. Okay?
get some stanchion for an external experiment reinforced a bit on the end of the Columbus module.
Where are you now, Christina? I'm still on Space 6. Just standing by. Okay, I think I'm ready for you. Okay, copy that. Sorry, I thought you were already coming. No worries, I'm on my way. Just okay. Yeah, so right now I've got that fairly on 0500, and then I'm on the starboard toolbox. You should be able to slip down in between, and I can keep an eye on the box.
Great.
With Jessica Meir in place at the airlock and ready to help, Christina Cook's now beginning to make her way off of the station's truss and over to the airlock.
All right, so this is already, I may take your words on clearance to ESP2 or use. Okay. I see it's in front of me, so I'm going to pause here at the bend. See, I'm going to have to reorient so I can see you. All right, I got my clearance, so I'm going to continue on the CSPR. And instead of having it folded back towards me, I kind of have it folded straight out so that it'll just naturally, hopefully, be in the, like you said. I see you, and I've got a good view now of the SP2. Okay. You're clear. Copy. I'm just trying to hold my tether out of the way here. Okay. And then I think if you turn the box, that'll work now. You're good. You're clear. Copy. Continuing. Okay, and pause there, and you might need to push the box down because it's going to be, right now it's in between the toolbox and ESP2. Copy. Didn't work.
Getting a good view of why it's difficult to maneuver these large pieces of equipment in microgravity, even though they don't weigh anything.
Put a hand on it. How's it looking now? It's good right now if you go straight down. Okay.
On Earth, the old battery charge discharge unit would weigh about 235 pounds. That's not a problem in space, of course, but it is still bulky and spacewalkers have to be careful not to bang it against any of the sensitive equipment. They have to be moved slowly and carefully from one place to another.
Might just want to keep going down the wagon wheel because, oh, okay, the box is coming up now. Okay. It's, maybe I can push it down. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. With your beer, yeah, there you go. You can get it down below you, otherwise it's going to block your access to the airlock toolbox handrail. Okay. Watch that whiff. There you go. Now if you can push it straight down, it'll be clear. All right. Awesome. I see that. What are we passing over right now, Stephanie?
Christina, Jessica, we're passing over Southern California.
Oh, nice. Nice. My old home. Hello, everybody in San Diego. Yes, indeed. Hello. Beautiful, that coastline. All right, I'm on the lower part of the wagon wheel. Moving in towards the airlock. Okay, I'll start coming down then as well. I'm kind of taking the long road around. That'll be perfect. Oh, wow, the Baja Peninsula. My favorite things to look at. Nice.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That is amazing. Wonder if we can see scripts from here.
I bet we're looking at it.
Yep. Hey, Hannah, I'm right behind you.
All right. And Christina, when you're in a good position, you can open the thermal cover.
Copy.
Thermal cover coming open.
And I'm right here on the forward side.
All right. Copy. For the orientation of the stowage of the unit in the airlock, doghouse zenith, fins facing the aft wall, and the box will be located in the port aft corner of the crew lock. So with that, you can work together to stow the box in the airlock.
Okay, copy that. And Stephanie, can you remind us, is the crew lock bag going in the airlock at this time too?
It is as well.
Okay, thanks. All right, Christina, what do you think?
I am thinking with where I am and where the box is, I am thinking if I stay aft and orient the RU towards you and you're sort of in the hatchway or just a little bit snugged up from your forward location, then you could be the one to actually do the ret work and sort of getting it into the crew lock. Because it's on my BRT, I feel like if I pop up in there, I'm going to be blocking access.
Okay. Then do you think I should go in there and get the crew lock bag off me first? And I can also pull out the reps that we need.
Yeah, I think that would be a good plan.
Okay.
We like your plan.
Copy.
Hello, United States. 30 seconds to a 20-second handover.
Copy. Okay, I'm going to pop up under here if you want to move a little bit more aft.
Okay.
We're in another one of those short handovers where we don't have a video downlink from the station, but actually it is coming back right now. As soon as it locks up, we should be seeing them again. They are both at the Quest airlock getting that old battery charge discharge unit installed.
Okay, Christina, the crew lock bag, and Christina and Stephanie, the crew lock bag is stowed in the airlock. I'm going to grab the rep for the BCDU.
Copy.
Chesimir is inside the Quest airlock right now, and you can also see Christina Cook just behind that soft cover for the airlock, waiting to hand off the old battery charge-discharge unit or store it inside the airlock.
H2 is kind of collaborated with my BRT and the other RET. You can either pop it off my RET or of my BRT, but then we need to maintain control of it, or try to reach the ORU tether point. Can you just turn around? If you can just roll so that, turn around so that you're holding on with your left hand. Yep. See. Right. Now, I wonder, I'm not going to be able to reach it from here, but I wonder if you can on the tether point. If you want, I can get it off your BRT first. Well, once it's off the BRT, one of us is always going to have to have positive control, so yeah, probably want a position for that. How about now? You could probably put it on there now if you want to hand me the RET. Okay, I've got it. Airlock. Got it? Good. Okay. Set it to the airlock. Okay, well done. All right. So maybe what we can do is get into a position where we can get it kind of pointed up into the airlock before you take it off your PRT. Yep. And then it'll be just nice gentle push up. I'm thinking. Okay, I'm just going to try to get out of your way then, unless you want me to hand on it. Right now, I'm behind your play. Okay, I see that. Right, going into here. Nice. It's directly below the airlock. I move out of the way. Yep, I see it. Let me pull this ret down. Okay, so the ret is kind of on the back of the box right now. Yep, I see that. Can you get up now? Yeah, maybe we can spin it so that side goes in. You know what? I think, how about this? If you grab that scoop right there and then you maintain positive control, I can let go of this BRT, and I think it will separate itself in. So once I let go of the BRT, then we can each just maintain control of it as it separates in. Okay? Depending on who has the reach. Concur. Let me just get my end effector down here. Okay, perfect. Okay. I've got control of it. Okay, I'm releasing it from my BRT. You have control of the ORU? I have control. Careful on that outside edge with your helmet. Okay, copy. I'm releasing my BRT rep. Okay, copy. Okay, I can maintain, I guess we should have your end going in first since that's the red end. So I have control. Okay, you've got control? Okay. I'm going to just slide it up in. Perfect. Nice. I'm going to follow it up in there. Sure. Follow it up in and get it parked where it needs to be. Now that it's in the airlock, I think I'm okay to release it. It's just going to shepherd in gently. I agree, yep, it's on the ret. With that, Stephanie, Christina's heading into show that BCDU. I've already showed the crew lock bag. You want me to, here in case you need a hand, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty straightforward now. You want me to head out?
Give us, double check your safer handles down.
Okay, copy.
alone, convicted of murder, but still no sentence. Why there's been another delay in the sentencing of a convicted killer in Albany. Plus, a giant leap for womankind. NASA sharing details on the first ever all-female spacewalk happening right now. News Channel 13, live at noon, is next.
Removing the new battery charge discharge unit. To do that, she'll install some of the helmets that Jessica Muir is bringing over for her, loosen some bolts, or remove some bolts, and then she'll be able to pick it up.
And I have a great view of you, Nana. Copy that. No eyes on you yet. Oh, now I do. Hi, you're close. Sure am.
Jessica, when convenient,
Didn't feel his attorney Lee Kinlan represented his best interests when he was being tried for murder. Grady was found guilty of killing Khalil Barnes in July of 2018. He was supposed to be sentenced 2 weeks ago, but the judge gave him additional time to find a new attorney to represent him. When Grady was brought into the courtroom today, the judge asked him if he was able to retain new counsel. Grady said he wasn't able to because he couldn't afford it. McDonough asked him if he actually contacted any attorneys, and Grady said he had not. When the judge asked if he could appoint a public defender, the judge told him he couldn't do that while Kinlan was still representing him. Kinlan said he felt the attorney-client relationship was completely broken, so the judge allowed Kinlan to be relieved as counsel and appointed Paul Edwards as Grady's new attorney. Edwards has until the 31st to get whatever he needs from Kinlan and the court to proceed with sentencing. Now, the judge also set a date for an open gun case that Grady is facing. That trial will begin on December 2nd. Stay tuned to News Channel 13 for updates, but for now, reporting live in the studio, Emily Burkhardt, News Channel 13. Jerry.
All right, sounds like some courtroom antics there. Thanks very much, Emily. All right, time for us to get a look at our first warning forecast with meteorologist Greg Pollock. And I'll tell you what, Greg, I'm no meteorologist, but I walked out this morning and I said, this is better than yesterday.
It is. Absolutely.
See?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good on that end.
You're a human, which is good, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Right. It feels better outside. No rain today. It's a bit breezy still, but the winds are not nearly as strong. The temperatures right now still into the 40s and some lower 50s. Live look at the CDPHB first warning cam in Albany. Still a lot of clouds around. Now, the clouds will tend to decrease through the afternoon, through the early evening, then through the overnight period. So we will see more sunshine later on today. 48 degrees right now with the wind out of the north around 15 miles per hour. A frost advisory in effect for the Hudson Valley later on tonight through early Saturday morning, 3 o'clock until 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday for temperatures as low as 33 across the Hudson Valley. So we could be seeing that frost. First warning live Doppler. We don't have any precipitation today, but we do have the cloud. The clouds will decrease as high pressure builds on in from the west. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures hover into the upper 40s and lower 50s, then drop back down to the 40s and eventually the 30s later on tonight. The complete weekend forecast coming up. Jerry?
All right, we'll look forward to that. Thank you, Greg. Schools across the country are facing bus driver shortages, and that's why the Shenandoah School District is inviting prospective drivers to try their hand behind the wheel. This is the program they've been doing for a few years now. Transportation Director Al Karam says they typically lose about 25 drivers a year for various reasons. He says those prospective drivers can be nervous at first, but get much more comfortable with the idea once they've actually tried driving a bus. They're looking for good drivers who enjoy working with children and are able to pay attention to a number of things all at once. He calls school bus drivers the unsung heroes of the school experience.
And they do make a difference. I've seen it where a child who's been having issues, not only in the bus, but maybe in a difficult home environment, the driver sees that, recognizes that, and then they intervene to help that child feel loved and welcome, and that makes a huge difference.
Now, Karam also tells us that if you weren't able to make it to the bus demo today and you're interested, you can call the Shen Transportation Department where you can get some more information. National Grid out with its winter pricing forecast. The company says upstate New York customers will see higher prices for electricity this winter, but lower costs for natural gas service. And here's how it shakes out. Based on average usage, customers with natural gas should save 18% in energy costs over last winter. If you use electric heat for your home, you can expect to pay just under 5% more this winter. National Grid reminds customers to talk with the company about your heating needs. They have energy-saving tips and budget plans that can be of some help during the winter months. Other heating-related news, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand calling on the White House to release money for the low-income heating program. That program is called LI HEAP. It helps seniors and low-income families pay their winter heating bills. Gillibrand says the Trump administration has not released the funding for it yet. Congress is asking for $300 million, and much of that money goes to cold weather states like New York. Gillibrand says she also has support for this from Republicans on the issue.
An issue, and I'm proud to be joined by colleagues on both sides of the aisle in pushing for the money to be released quickly.
Last year, the Trump administration wanted to eliminate this funding, but Congress would not allow it. The final phase of the Clifton Park roundabout at intersections 146, 146A, and Vischer Ferry Road should be finished this weekend. The weekend work had been scheduled for October 4th, but got pushed back. Northern and southern legs of the intersection going to close at 10 o'clock tonight and reopen by 11 o'clock Saturday night. Traffic traveling on Route 146 will be reduced to a single alternating lane. Some new details this morning in the ongoing fight over contaminated drinking water in Hoosick Falls. The companies blamed for polluting the water, Honeywell and Saint-Gobain, completed a study that identifies other possible sources of clean drinking water for the village. 5 other sources are included in the report. And if you want more information or to ask questions, there's a meeting next Wednesday, actually 2 sessions, one happening at 3 p.m., the other at 7:30, both at Hoosick High School. We have the complete study up on our website, WNYT.com. Happening right now, 2 NASA astronauts in the middle of an all-day spacewalk, and this one's being called a giant leap for womankind. And you're seeing right there why it is. This is a live picture of Jessica Meir and Christina Koch. You'll see them moving around there, but they are working outside the International Space Station, 248 miles above the Earth. It's the first time there's been an all-female spacewalk. Chris Pallone has more on their historic mission.
Once again, this historic moment. First time that 2 women have done a spacewalk together.
Call it a giant leap for women. American astronauts Christina Koch and Jessica Meir making history 250 miles above the Earth.
Amazing view out here.
Taking part in the first spacewalk in history conducted solely by women. The significance not lost on Koch, who is making her 4th spacewalk.
I think it's important because of the historical nature of what we're doing, and that in the past, women haven't always been at the table. And it's wonderful to be contributing to the human spaceflight program at a time when all contributions are being accepted, when everyone has a role.
The pair ventured outside the International Space Station to replace a failed power controller at 7:38 a.m. Eastern Time.
And the bolt appeared released at 14 turns.
The first all-female spacewalk was supposed to take place in March, but had to be scrapped when NASA did not have a spacesuit ready for astronaut Anne McClain. She has since returned to Earth, and Meir is now making her first spacewalk.
What we're doing now shows all of the work that went in for the decades prior, all of the women that worked to get us where we are today.
Earlier this week, NASA unveiled prototype spacesuits for one of the next barriers women are set to break. The space agency expects to send the first woman to the moon by 2024. Chris Pallone, NBC News, New York.
Exciting times. Still ahead on Live at Noon. Fighting continues along the Syrian border despite the promise of a ceasefire. We'll tell you why. Pro-democracy protests continue in China. How the government there is responding now that the U.S. Congress has voiced its support for the protesters. Plus, we're getting ready to scare up a good time right here in the studio. Halloween is coming, and we're welcoming some of the friendly faces from Fright Fest.
Coverage you can trust with Jerry Gretzinger and meteorologist Greg Pollack. This is News Channel 13, live at noon.
Well, today we're saluting Seaman First Class Alfred Benchak from Athens. He served in the Navy, stationed in Pembroke, England. He brought soldiers to Omaha Beach on D-Day. We thank him for his service. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in Israel today after visiting Turkey over its offensive on Kurdish forces in Syria. Pompeo met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem to reaffirm America's close ties with the Jewish state. Many in Israel fear the Trump administration intends to give up on the Middle East. Pompeo praised the relationship with Israel and said they discussed efforts